All right, we're here at the dealership, guys. We're about to pick up our next car. This is gonna be our next car with the turning $1,000 to $100,000 series. This one we bought through ACV, and because we bought it through ACV, we're purchasing it directly from the dealership. We're picking it up here, and today I'm gonna show you guys what we got and what we're gonna be doing to get it ready for sale. Now, let's see what it is. What's up? My name is Jamal from Flipping University. In this channel, I help people that might not have too much mechanical experience go from amateur to expert flipping cars so that they can build a life of freedom, doing whatever they want, whenever they want. And as I mentioned, we're here at the dealership, so let me show you guys exactly what we got. All right, so this is it right here. As I mentioned before, it's a 04 Hyundai Sonata. Overall, it's in pretty good condition. It does need a little bit of touch-ups. It does have a current inspection sticker. It's good until next year, which is definitely nice. As you can see here, there is some body work that it would need. Not a crazy amount, but it looks like it was basically sideswiped before. Besides that, it is in very good condition. I don't know what the person was doing that was driving this car, but it is what it is. And this is how the interior looks. Not too shabby. And the great thing again is that there is no codes or anything like that on the system. I am going to do a quick check with the car just to make sure it's all good. Usually I do this if I am picking up the car myself, and this dealership is literally like right around the corner from where I live, so this was like perfect for me. I didn't have to spend money for transportation or anything like that. But I'm just gonna do the quick check that I usually would do as if I was at the auction and stuff, just to make sure everything is good, and then if everything is good, then I'm taking it home. So first, I mean, really, I already know it will start, but I'm just gonna start it up. It does have 103,000 miles on it, so not bad at all. I already know the AC and everything works all right as well. I'll try to show what the listing looks like for the car, but usually they're very in-depth with the listings for ACV auctions. Like they go really in detail with everything. But of course, gonna check to make sure the windows work, all that stuff, and they do. The AC definitely does work, and we're just gonna pop the hood and see what it's looking like under the hood as well. I already scanned the codes, by the way, and there was no codes in the system. And this is how it's looking like underneath. It's running smooth as butter. We'll do the regular checks. I think it was pretty hard to open. We're gonna check under the engine cap. That's looking good. Again, I saw a lot of these pictures in the ACV auctions app. Like, they really go in depth with everything, so they showed me what this stuff looks like as well. But I just want to check to make sure everything is good from my side as well. Of course, you never know, it could be older pictures or something, but just checking everything over, and it does look good. There's no leaks underneath the car either, and I already checked there wasn't any big rust problems or anything either. Now I'm just gonna go through a couple of gears just to make sure it's all good as well. Just try to fly down these lanes, possibly run into the dealership. It is what it is. But if everything's looking all good with that, then I'm gonna take it home, and then, you know, we'll get on to actually the whole process of getting it ready for sale. This obviously isn't going to be a lot that we're gonna do with the car. Maybe if anything, we could see about trying to touch up that side swiped area just to make it look a little better. But again, this should be a pretty quick job. All right, so before we end up dropping home with the car and everything, on the way, I'm gonna just stop by the car wash now, just to get it washed up and everything. I really wanna knock out the detailing part first, get the car cleaned up and everything, interior cleaned up as well. And then after that, I actually got a dent repair kit as well, where I'm gonna be trying to repair the dents. It might not come out to be perfect, but I mean, if it could be just a little bit better than it was before, then that could still be good, especially for this price range. I'll probably end up selling this around like $2,000 to $2,500, around that price point. So people won't care a crazy amount about the dent, but if it could just be a little bit less of an eyesore, you know, that could be good. But let's get this thing to the car wash now. All right, so for the people that already been watching this channel, you already know the game. I brought it through a local unlimited car wash around me. That's where I bring most of my cars, and I already brought it through the car wash. Now I'm just gonna vacuum it out, then we're heading home to start finishing up detailing it, and then after that, time to repair that dent. this ended up having to actually be another day because the day we were just washing the car, of course it had to go pouring raining right after. But we're coming back at it. It is looking cleaner, of course. I mean, it wasn't like filthy when I first got it, but usually, you know, I do like to just get the washing and stuff out the way just to start the car up. So we are gonna get to the dent. You know, I do want to try to fix that up a little bit. Again, it doesn't have to look perfect, but at least better than it is now, just to be a little bit less of an eyesore. But before we get to that, I just want to get to the detailing so that, you know, that dent repair could basically be the very last thing that we do. I have some of the products here, and we're just gonna follow the same process I would usually follow. We're not gonna go too crazy into it just because this is a cheaper car. The people that have seen me do this before, that have already subscribed to the channel and everything, it's gonna be around the same process. So regardless of the price of the car or whatever the case may be, I always do the same type of process here. I usually go with the brush first to really get deeper into, you know, everything that I'm cleaning, gets a lot of it of the tougher spots, and then right after that I follow it up with the towel. So this is the product I'm using this time. I like Chemical Guys products in general a pretty good amount. They are on the pricier side, but they do make good quality stuff. It doesn't have to be this exact one for you guys. It could be Meguiar's or P&S detailing products, whatever the case may be. But first, of course, we're just gonna spray it around. And this is just a cleaner too. It's not like a polish or anything like that. Of course, just make sure you're not hitting any of the electronics. You don't want to break any of that. And then we're gonna follow it up with the brush. For the things like this interior part here, you know, any of the buttons or anything like that, you want to just try to spray it directly into the brush and then brush into the parts after that rather than spraying it directly on that and, as I said, potentially breaking whatever it is. And of course, we're not just gonna do the front as well, by the way. We're also gonna do the back too. People are gonna be sitting in the back also, so we gotta make sure we're taking care of them too. So boom, we'll do the same thing in the back, brushing it down, and then wiping it off with the microfiber towel after. Usually I get like a bulk pack of these towels from Costco. You could probably get, I'm not sure, I don't know, I think it's like 30 or so in a pack, but these are like really good quality towels and it's for a pretty good price, so definitely suggest to get them there too. Okay, so now that we got everything all cleaned up, now we're gonna follow up with the polish. I usually like to use something like this. Is the Meguiar Supreme Shine Protectant. Not only does it protect it from UV rays and messing up the dashboard and all, but it also gives it a nice shine as well, which is nice for when people come and it all just pops to them. So we're gonna do around the same thing with this. Just gonna spray it on first. And I'm usually not gonna use the brush with this one. I'm just gonna wipe it off with the microfiber towel right after. Just like so. Okay, so now I'm hoping you can see that on camera, but it's looking a lot better than it was before. Before it was just like a whole layer of dust just sitting on the top of the whole dashboard and everything, but now it's looking all nice and polished. Now the last thing before we jump over to that nasty little dent right there, and again, really it's not a crazy dent, I will say, but we should be able to do a little bit of work to get that out. It's just getting those headlights out the way as well. I basically do this with just about all the cars that I sell, regardless of the price also. It doesn't take much to do, so might as well just knock it out to make the car look a pretty good amount better. Okay, so this is also around the same process that I would usually follow with most of my cars as well. If it's a little bit more of an expensive car, then I do a process that's a little bit better of a buff. It's just a better headlight restoration process in general. But with this process, this is the one that I would usually do for just cheaper cars like this. This is a very quick and easy thing that you could basically bust out in like a couple minutes. I have most of the stuff that I need right here. I already cleaned off the headlights really quick just with some soapy water. Now I'm just gonna use some alcohol and pop it on the headlights with the microfiber towel just to clean it up and get everything nice and dry. And I will say too, a good way that you could see if this will really work with the car, or it really will change up the look a good amount where it gets to basically being completely clear, is you can rub your finger along the outside, and if it feels like pretty smooth, then this probably isn't gonna work. It's probably gonna be where most of the scratches and everything that's making the headlights like this is gonna be inside, where you basically would need a whole new set of headlights. And honestly, for this one, it does actually seem kind of smooth, so this probably isn't going to work the best, but regardless, it's only going to take a couple minutes, so it's like you might as well anyway. And for this price range of car, I wouldn't do something like changing out the whole headlights as well. The next thing is we're just going to take some of the Meguiar's Ultra Cut compound. We already popped it on the top of the pad, and then we're just going to dab it along the headlight. Usually when I do this first is so that when you first start off, you don't buff it around first. It'll basically splash all over you too. And then you can start it up. And usually I like using something like this. I mean, you could get like a DA polisher as well, but I like to use this just because this is more mobile. You know, I could just bring this in, you know, I could bring this basically anywhere. But let's just quickly go over this and see how it looks. And by the way, I usually do like 2 passes over the whole thing while I'm doing the drill. All right, so this is a little before and then after. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but it definitely does look a lot better. I'm just gonna do that same process with the other side. And voila, as you can see, this one's actually looking a lot better. This one is probably even more clear than the other side, but if you could do, I'll probably even throw it in there really quick, just the before compared to how it's looking like now. I mean, it's not a brand new car, but hey, this is looking a lot better. This is almost like how I'm feeling when I'm getting a new fresh haircut. But now, without further ado, time to get to those dents. All right, so this is the kit that I have to be able to do some PDR. My goodness, cars just keep passing by. And for the people that don't know, PDR, which is what's shown all over here, super PDR and everything, basically just stands for paintless dent repair, because you could usually do it either way. It could be stuff like this, or you could have it after fixing whatever damage you have with the paint or with the body and everything. You also have to like paint over it and everything as well, do body fill and all that stuff. But we're not trying to do that. We're trying to do it more of a quicker way and a seamless way. So this is the kit that I got. It does come with a lot of stuff. It was only like 60 bucks on Amazon, but the main thing is having a glue gun. You get a slide hammer, and then you also get one of these as well. So this is basically just for taking out like the small dents, and then this one is going to be for taking out the large dents. I would say, to be honest with this, it's a little cheap filling. It'll hold over time, but it is plastic. It's not like a metal piece. It just comes with a whole bunch of other stuff as well, which is honestly a pretty good value for only $60. It comes with like one of these little hammers that you use generally along this as well. I mean, this is for like more so if you're really trying to make the whole thing perfect. Honestly, I probably won't be using all this, but usually you kind of put this piece along with one of these little, you know, sockets that goes over it, and you can just kind of like hammer in like certain points of the dent just to be able to kind of like smooth things out and everything. And then you're gonna see how I use all these in a second, but this is basically what the glue goes on to. But the main things that you generally need with any kit is these 2 things right here, as long as being a glue gun with it as well. No, the water bottle does not come with it, unfortunately. So first things first, we're just gonna start getting the glue gun ready. You already put in the glue stick in the back. Now we're just gonna plug it in. I got the long extension going to the back. And yeah, we're probably gonna take around like 5 minutes or so for this to heat up. So what I'm gonna do first is just clean off this area around here. I'm just gonna use some Windex to clean it off. It's gonna be a very simple clean. Now what I'm gonna do is just look to have one of these pieces right here that I'm gonna be gluing to the panel. That's going to fill in basically like the deepest part of the dent. So let's say right here, I can see this is basically the deepest part. It looks like someone really sideswiped it or something before probably. But I'm gonna try to take some of these like more slim ones. I'll probably take this one right here and just, if possible, just put like 2 right here so I could have, you know, some good leeway to pop it off. So boom, I just popped one of them on. Now I'm just gonna pop another one probably around this area right here. It seems like this is like another pretty deep spot of where the dent is. All right, so I got both of them plastered on there now. Now I'm just gonna wait probably like 5 minutes just to let it dry, and then we're gonna start working it out. I actually made a clip of this before, but I thought I was making a clip, but the thing wasn't recording. But before I even did this, before I put this on the panel, I did use, well, before I had a heat gun, lost the heat gun, now I'm just using a hair blower. But just to put it around the panel to make the metal a little bit easier to form around. All right, so now this is where the slide hammer comes into play. So all we're gonna be doing is just taking this little notch right here and slipping it over these parts right here. and then I'm just going to be using this sliding hammer piece to try to pull this dent out. I might end up just trying to heat the panel up a little bit more. I think the panel might have cooled down a little bit, but we're gonna come back to it, and then yeah, we'll see if we can get that dent out. All right, so this piece already actually popped off. It wasn't able to stay on for too long, but the dent did actually pop out a little bit. I don't know if you guys saw that on camera, but it did start to come out a little. Now we're just gonna try to get that one out too before we stick this one back on there, just to see where everything kind of levels out. Hopefully this one stays on a little bit longer. To get these little tabs off, well, basically the pieces of glue, that's what you're going to be using these little scrapers for, that comes in the box also. And if it is coming out like a little harder, then you could also use some like 95% or 90, just over 90% isopropyl alcohol. It'll come off a lot easier. All right, so I just took off the pieces off the panel. As you can see that, you know, there's still some dents and everything there. What I did before, I could kind of see it here. This is the area that I popped out. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but that's looking a little bit better now. And there as well, that's where I had it. So now I'm gonna try to put it into the other spots just to kind of fill it out and pop it out a little bit more. Again, this isn't gonna be a perfect job. I'm not claiming to be some professional PDR guy, but this is something that, you know, for a cheap car, should make the car look a little bit better for the person that's gonna buy it. So it's definitely looking a lot better already. I mean, you can still see it, but I'd say this area right here is gonna be the area I'm gonna try to use the hammer with a little bit of the, I'm not even sure what it's called, but the indent, to just try to pop this little part that's coming out a little bit more, and we'll see how it's looking after. All right, so this is how things are looking now. I did try to get this little piece out just by trying to tap it in a little bit more, but it wasn't really doing enough. I went in a little bit more than it was before, but overall, I mean, I'm still happy with the results. It's not perfect, but again, realistically, I mean, I'm probably gonna be selling this thing around like $2,000 or so. For that price point, I mainly just wanted it to look a little bit better and not be as much of an eyesore. The person really realistically that's interested in buying this is gonna probably buy it regardless, but I just wanted to have it where, you know, when they come out to see it, it just pops out a little more. And that's actually, by the way, just a little, I don't know if you could see it, this part right here, that's just some glue that's still stuck to the panel. I'm gonna get that out, don't worry about that, and I'm gonna go take some pictures. All right, so now we're here. I usually just park at like a little parking lot around me just to be able to take the pictures and everything. It's nothing too crazy, but usually you don't want to just take it like right in front of your house. It just looks a little ghetto, you know, but I'm just gonna take a couple of pictures and I'm gonna post it up online. Well, I'll post up a screenshot of what the price of the car should sell around. From what I saw when I checked Kelly Blue Book, I believe it sells for around like $2,000 to $2,500. So, I mean, even with tools and stuff that we might have had to possibly purchase to take the dent out and everything, we're still all in under $1,000, which, you know, isn't bad at all. And we basically did not much of anything with the car. We just detailed it and popped the dent out, you know. But yeah, let's just take some pictures of it really quick before it starts raining or something like that, and then we'll go into the other things. And that's everything that we completed with the car. Now I'm about to post it up. I'm mainly gonna be using Facebook. As I mentioned, I'll probably be posting it up around $2,000 and see who bites on it. I should be able to sell it for around a week. I will say I am still waiting for the title to come for the car, so I have to hold things up a little bit more, but I'm sure it should be to sell pretty quickly once we get that in. And I will say too, for the next car that I end up possibly getting from ACV Auctions, I will put up a little bit of that process as well, just because I know with most of this series so far, I've gotten cars through there, and I've mainly shown how I get cars potentially through the auction I go to, like Odessa, but I haven't really shown too much of how I go to get cars through it, ACV and everything. So I'll show you some of that as well. And for the people that are wondering, like, all right, how did you even get a car like this? How did you get a car through the dealer auction when you don't even have like your own full-on dealership and just working from the street basically? I explained all of that. You can just go into the link in the description below. I put together like a whole training for a bunch of guys actually together that explains really deeply all that process. So make sure you check that out. It's in the link in the description. I'll probably add it to the comments as well. And of course, I already have been looking for other cars to invest the rest of our money into as well. And so far, we haven't been getting anything. Otherwise, I would have mentioned it now. But we have had some close ones already. So I'm sure with the next video, we're going to have something good to come up with as well. As a very quick update too, I had to add something else into this whole clip. My wifey told me I should probably add this to you guys before the next video, so I'm gonna listen to her. We already got our next car too on the flipping series. It's a 2008 Honda Odyssey. I didn't pick it up yet, but I'm gonna cover it in the next video, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But alright guys, make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell to be alerted when the video comes out, and until next time, peace.